look at like that, and he looked at me and he went, and he got and then he got in the car. Y'all hear that?
Hear what?
Hey, quiet. Y'all hear that?
What you hear?
Listen. Yo.
Hey.
What the fuck? They get him on pants. Yo, what do we do?
Y'all think we should check that shit out?
Shit. I mean, it's my ex. She ain't getting child support.
I guess so. I think we should split up to cover more ground.
Alright, we'll check the rest of the refrigerator.
Well, since it's 5 of us, you think you should like a 3 and 2?
That makes sense.
Me, but I think we should make a decision quick.
Think about. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with them just because, you know, like size and protection. So I say. So we're gonna go this way, and you guys go that way. See if we can find where this is coming from.
Yeah.
Dude, let's see. Look. That's hard to see. It's almost like this dark. We gotta find like what to do this whole shit, right?
Oh no!
No. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Always get left. It's time to fight or die. Square.
Round 1. Fight. Fatality.
Where are we?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. Alright. You're not behind me, bro.
Stupid. No! Fuck. God, he runs fast for a guy and slides.
safe. Oh, I'm safe. What the heck?
It's just so fucking stupid. Like, you fucking wears a hockey hat. Guys? Oh, shit. Shit. Fuck. Oh, no, I'm by myself. What the fuck? What the fuck? Hello?
Who the hell is this, man? Hi. Who is this?
What's your favorite scary movie?
Probably I'd have to say probably Halloween. Funny.
That's mine too.
What the fuck?
You hear the screeching of an owl, you hear the wind begin to howl. You know there's zombies on the prowl, and it's terror time again. They've got you running through the night. It's terror time again, and you just might die of fright. It's a terrifying time.
Yo, wait. Oh god, what is this?
Alright. I'll review it. Alright, everyone. Well, I suppose let's get right into this. As I'm sort of being held against my will anyways, but that's besides the point. Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. What can I say about this movie that hasn't already been said? It came out in September of 1998. Actually, in the year I was born, surprisingly enough. You want to know what else came out that year? Halloween H2O and Jurassic Park: The Lost World. Daddy Jeff Goldblum. I'll stop. But anyway, so what can I say about this movie? Well, this movie was the first in a lineup, more so of like a quadrilogy of these Scooby-Doo movies that they made, which was like a new spin on the formula, a new spin on the series. This was the first of 4 because you had Zombie Island, which was the first one, and then I believe the next one was The Witch's Ghost, and then Alien Invaders, and then the last kind of one before they transitioned into a formula that they would use every single movie was Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. But we'll talk about those at a later date. Right now, we're going to talk about the first one of the most iconic pieces of Scooby-Doo media ever created. Scooby-Doo fans, this is one of their favorite Scooby-Doo pieces of media ever. One of the best rated Scooby-Doo things. So much so that they actually made a sequel to this because it was so loved by the fans. And, well, the sequel is what the sequel is. We'll get to that at some point as well. But Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island came out September 1998. It was a new take. And firstly, I just want to say I watched this since I was a kid. I have it on VHS. I have my VHS tape still at my grandparents' house. I have VHS tapes of all of these shits, actually. But I own it on DVD now. As you can see, it was forcefully thrusted into my chest by Ghostface. So thank you for that. But yeah, so this movie was a new take on the formula where this is, and I can't believe this is the first time they ever really tried something like this. Basically, they sat there and they were like, what if this time the monsters are real? And holy shit, did it work out. This movie is fucking great. It is really fucking great, honestly. So I guess we should get into what this fucking thing is about then. So getting into the plot of this movie, how does this movie differ itself from the other series? Well, this movie starts off by having the gang completely split up, which they kind of did earlier on in the series with shows like Scooby and Scrappy-Doo, the new Scooby-Doo show, different things. They did 13 Ghosts, where they would kind of split up the gang or do weird renditions of the gang, but this is the first time that the gang was actually all split up and going their separate ways. And in this movie, they actually give Daphne more of a character than she's ever had, because in this movie, Daphne is she has like her own show where she talks about mysteries and stuff, and she's starting to become like a popular celebrity, and she goes on all these talk shows, and she has Fred as like her cameraman. So I mean, I guess they would have to be a couple, right? I don't know, honestly. But so basically, like, Daphne's stressed out. She's trying to get a big break, like mystery to cover, and like nothing like they used to cover back in the day. Like, she wants a legit real mystery. She's dying for it. She's craving it. And it just so happens to be Daphne's birthday, so Fred gets the idea to call up the rest of the gang to plan something. And we see that the rest of the gang is doing their own thing. Velma has a job where she is working at a bookshop, and she sells books based on different mysteries. And also, Scooby and Shaggy work at an airport for some reason. They're like, Shaggy's like a security guard, and Scooby is like the dog that sniffs the contraband and tries to find like illegal items, basically. But all they do is end up finding food, and then they just eat people's food, and they end up getting fired for it. But basically, Fred calls them and tells them the plan, and they're all like, hell yeah, I'm in. So Fred and Daphne are getting ready to go on a road trip, and Fred surprises Daphne for her birthday by bringing back the gang. The gang is all together once again, and they set off on a trip across the U.S. trying to find a big mystery and a big story, and we get a montage with an amazing song. The Ghost is here. I gotta say, this movie's songs fucking bump, dude. They fucking slap. I'll get to the main song of this movie later on, but man, The Ghost is here. Man, that shit was bumping when I was a kid. But yeah, we get a montage of all these different mysteries that they go on, and you know, it all ends the same way, with a guy in a costume, and the mystery's not real, and you know, they're back to being Mystery Inc., but Daphne still wants more. She still wants that news story. She still wants the real mystery. And so they end up being in New Orleans, I believe, and it's either New Orleans or they end up in like the bayou of like Louisiana or whatever, and they're in this town stopping for something to eat.
Doesn't anybody want a beignet?
And then Daphne's just kind of disappointed, and the gang's like, well, you know, it's like the good old days. And Daphne's like, yeah, it's too much like the good old days, honestly. Like, I just really want this big mystery. I want something that's real for once, something that can actually get us somewhere. And then they end up coming across this character named Lena. I believe that's her name. So they run into this character named Lena, and she tells them that basically she works for this lady named Simone out on this island, which ends up being Zombie Island. And she basically tells the Mystery Inc. gang that there's like ghosts and stuff there, and it's the most haunted island in the world, and that if they're looking for a real mystery, that's where they're gonna want to go. So Daphne's like, all right, let's do it. And they follow Lena to the island and end up having to take a ferry that's being driven by this character named Jacques. He'll come into play later in the story, but some hijinks happen where Shaggy and Scooby fall off the boat. We're introduced to this character. He's kind of like a Crocodile Dundee type, like hick hillbilly swamp guy, where he like fishes and he like fights alligators and crocs, and he has like a hog. His name is Snakebite, I think. But yeah, so basically, Jacques takes them all to the island, and he says the fucking line.
If they want haunted, they come to the right place.
So they get there, and then we get introduced to Simone, and she's like this really classy, like high-end lady, and she shows them like her mansion and whatever. And then this is one of the first instances of Scooby hating cats, because Simone has a shitload of cats. Like, she's on some Natalia crazy cat lady shit. And so Scooby causes a ruckus, which pisses everyone off, chasing the cats. And but yeah, and we also get introduced to another character, the gardener, which he comes into play later. His name is Bo. He'll come into play more later on in the story as well. But basically, Simone tells the gang that there's been like ghostly things happening, and while they're in the kitchen, they see fucking like a ghost writes like beware or get out, whatever the fuck it said, on the wall. And there's even a part where like the ghost like lifts Velma up into the air, but somehow they're still denying that it's real or that it could be possible or whatever. And you can tell immediately something's off with Simone. Not as much Lena. They also kind of do this thing where like it looks like Lena and Fred are like crushing on each other. It's really weird. But yeah. So basically we find out like the whole so we think backstory of the island, and they tell the whole story of this pirate named Morgan Moonscar, and how him and the rest of his pirates came to the island. And basically they've just pretty much flat out say that they came to the island and they fucking killed everybody and took over the island. And then we don't hear the other part of the story until the end. But so basically Scooby and Shaggy end up eating outside because Scooby doesn't want to be in the house with the cats, and they've already seen ghosts a couple times, and they're eating hot peppers, and then they end up burning their mouth to where they have to run to the lake. And while they do, this green stuff starts coming up from the lake, and it has something to do with the moon. And then we see it go all into the ground and shit, and Scooby and Shaggy fall into this hole that's been dug, and the green stuff goes into like the wall of like the dirt hole, and we see something start coming out of there. We see fucking a zombie pop out, and that zombie ends up being Captain Morgan Moonscar, and scares the piss out of Shaggy. And I will say the visuals in this movie are beautiful. The animation, like everything looks dark. It looks like serious. Like this was some serious shit for Scooby. Like this is the darkest we saw it since the first season. Like it had those season 1 vibes to it, which I really like. But yeah, so they run away as usual, and they run into Bo, and Bo kind of acts suspicious, and he doesn't believe them. And the whole time Velma thinks Bo is a suspect, which pisses him off. But yeah, basically just stuff like that happens, and then it ends up to where like the gang is all out in the woods, and they see the zombies for the first time, and then Lena and Simone are believed to be at the house. And so we got Fred, Daphne, Velma, Bo, Shaggy, and Scooby are all in the woods, and then they all start getting chased by zombies. And there's this one scene where there's a zombie by the mystery machine, and like Fred tries to unmask it because obviously he thinks, oh, you know, it's just another guy in a mask like all their other mysteries. Fred legit fucking beheads the zombie, and they all toss his head around like it's a fucking game of hacky sack. And fucking then that's when they all realize, they're like, oh, holy shit, like this is actually real. And we actually see like genuine terror in Fred, Daphne, and Velma that we've never really seen before. Like, those characters have always been usually just the, oh, you know, we don't believe in superstition, we don't believe that ghosts and monsters are real, but this is one of the very first times that Fred, Daphne, and especially Velma showed genuine fear. Genuinely terrified. The first time I've ever seen that with these characters. But, so, basically, this kicks off the best scene of the movie, in my opinion. It's dark, they're in the woods, there's moonlight, and then all the other zombies start coming to life, and they're surrounded. And when I tell you this shit gets awesome, they start, in my opinion, the best song ever in the whole franchise of Scooby-Doo. As the gang is all being chased, they start, "It's Terror Time Again." Holy shit, this song is fucking amazing. If you've never heard this song, I'm probably going to be playing it in the background right now, but for the love of God, please check out this song for yourself. Holy shit, this song is fucking incredible. But, and the visuals on the zombies are scary. Like, the zombies look genuinely scary. Like, not any, like, the silly, you know, looking monsters and shit they had in the cartoons in the early series. Like, this was the first time the villains actually looked really fucking scary. But, yeah. They chase them through the woods, and there's, like, different lighting and just all the dark forest and the animation. Oh, the mood is just so good, dude. Like, this was so well done. You could tell there was so much, like, just love and care put into it. The people who were animating this and drawing this and designing it, you could tell they had so much passion for what they were doing. This film looks incredible. The music is fucking awesome. And then basically Fred and Daphne run into Velma and Bo, and then Shaggy and Scooby fall down into this cave. The cave will come into play later on. And so basically they hear a scream back at the house, so everybody goes back to the house because they're like, oh, Simone and Lena were at the house by themselves, and oh, the zombies got them and whatever. And then basically they all get taken to the cave that Shaggy and Scooby fell down in, and while they were down there they found voodoo dolls that looked like the gang, and they don't really understand what's going on. But then the plot twist comes in, where we see Lena and Simone transform into cat creatures. And I'm not talking about the cat creature from season 3. I'm talking about some legit scary ass looking cat creatures. And they have this basically this whole thing where they have like a curse on them where every night at a certain time when the sundial, they have like a big ass sundial, when it hits a certain time the moonlight will shine and then they turn into cat creatures, basically like a werewolf type thing. And not only just those two, but Jacques, the guy from the boat, because Shaggy and Scooby try to escape on the boat, and then they see Jacques is also a cat creature. So basically they tie all the gang up. Well, they tie up Bo, Velma, Fred, and Daphne, and then meanwhile Shaggy and Scooby are being chased by Jacques. And then basically they use voodoo on them, and their plan is to, I guess, like, do something when the clock strikes a certain time so they can break the curse and be free, and they need Mystery Inc. for that for some reason. And it's like this whole thing with voodoo. And right at the end, Shaggy and Scooby fall into the cave, and they kind of save the day, and they mess the fucking shit up. And also the zombies come into the cave as well. But we see that the zombies are actually the good guys. And we see, we find out the real backstory, that Lena and Simone and Jacques were basically like Captain Morgan Moonscar came to the island and whatever. But then Lena, Simone, and Jacques basically killed Morgan Moonscar and everybody that was on his ship, and they became cursed and everything like that. And so it turns out Captain Morgan Moonscar and all the other zombies are actually, they're legit actually zombies, which was the first time, like I said, in the history of Scooby-Doo that one of the villains was real. And it turns out, like I said, Lena, Simone, and Jacques are the bad people, and Velma and them end up getting freed, and the ritual gets disturbed, and Simone and Lena and Jacques end up like burning or whatever. And then at the end we get revealed of who Bo really is, and it turns out he is a fucking detective or private investigator or whatever, and he's actually a cop, and he's been working on the island for a while to try to figure out what was really going on and all this other shit. But we at the end, like I said, Bo ends up revealing who he really is, and turns out he's Detective Neville, a private investigator and whatever. But because of everything that happened, he's just like, there's no way my superiors are gonna believe this. And Daphne's like, oh, Mr. Detective Neville, have you ever been on TV before? I also forgot to mention Daphne, like, her camera got lost in quicksand when the zombies were chasing them, so they have, like, no footage of this to show. So, yeah, they're kind of fucked on that. But, yeah, so it ends with all of them getting on the ferry. They drive the Mystery Machine on there, and Detective Neville talks about how he wants to write detective stories, and him and Velma kind of bond, and then Fred and Daphne talk about how, you know, after all, it does look pretty romantic on this island. And then we see Shaggy and Scooby grabbing more hot peppers before they leave, and we see Snake bite one more time to try to get them again, and it doesn't work, and the gang sails off into the sunset. And yeah, that was pretty much Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. And yeah, man, I really love this movie. I've loved it since I was a kid. It has a place in my heart in my childhood. It is a one-of-a-kind piece of Scooby-Doo media that can never be replicated. I'm talking about Return to Zombie Island. Anyway, yeah, I guess I should just mention it real quick. They made a sequel to this called Return to Zombie Island. It came out in 2020, I believe. And yeah, it's alright. Not anywhere good as the first one. Like I said, I'll get to that one day. But yeah, that was your review of Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. Now, I am gonna fucking figure out how to get myself out of this predicament. None of these killers are really watching me right now, so I think I'm about to make a break for it real quick. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and more reviews coming soon. Peace.
What the fuck? Why is the fire out? Alright. Oh, I mean, I guess that's the Zombie Island review. I don't know where the fucking killers went. I don't know. Ghostface? Michael? Jason? Alright, I guess that's the review. I'm fucking... Well, that was Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. Fucking... Guess the fucking fire's out. Oh!
Mix it up here in my little bowl. Say a few words and you lose control. I'm a hex girl, and I'm gonna put a spell on you. I'm gonna put a spell on you. I'm a hex girl, and I'm gonna put a spell
Dreadful darkness,
The fuck?
hear my cry. Bring back the one who fuck.
The fuck is
Bring
this?
back the one who
Where are you
cannot
fucking
die.
up? You can't even say the spell right.
Let the witch who perished here live again. Let the evil from the past breathe again. Let the
Hey, no.
fury
Wait.
blast.
Hold on.
Let the
Hold
dark
on.
wind whiff the
So you're
night
telling me
blow away
I gotta do this
the force
shit?
of light. Now
Now
I
hold
summon
on.
the
Fuck your
ancient
spells.
power.
Fuck the witch spells. The fucking spell book. Fuck your warlock shit. Fuck all this goddamn Ravencroft fucking shit. Hold on. Where the fuck you are, you better get your fucking ass here and do this shit with me. Because I'm not doing this shit by myself. If you're gonna sit here and fucking play with me after I just went through what I had to fucking deal with all these fucking killers. Really?
Motherfucker, fuck my spell. Oh, fuck it. I'll join you, motherfucker. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright, fuck it. Guess Witch's Ghost is next.
And it's terror.